Hi guys, it's Jamie Scrap and Stampers. I had a request on how I colored these cute little hedgehogs on my little tags that I created. So I'm going to share that with you today. So I used a little Gerda Steiner Designs hedgehog with sign, and today I'll use the hedgehog with latte or with coffee. So I'm going to use this cutie. And for the ink, I used Hero Arts Shadow ink in soft sand. It's a waterproof ink, so all you need is a waterproof ink that's safe for watercolors and markers. And so this is the one I have on hand, and I'm using it in the craft color. You can also use it in black. I'm going to be using my Misty today because I'm stamping on watercolor paper, so I have to stamp it several times to get a crisp image. So let's get this little cutie inked up. So when you stamp your image out in a light color, you can get an effect that looks like no line watercoloring or no line coloring. Kind of more of a hand-drawn look. So I'm going to do that 3 times. I want this image nice and dark. So I'm using my Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers today. And the colors that I'm using, let's see, I'm going to decide whether I want to use the beige or the oatmeal. I always forget which one's darker on this color, so I'll just scratch some off on the side here. Okay, so the beige is darker, so I'm going to use the oatmeal and the flesh color. So I'm going to start with my oatmeal. And I'm also going to use a water brush. So when I'm coloring with these Zig Clean Color Real Brush over this ink, I notice that the ink will darken up. So you'll see when I go over the eyes and the nose what I'm talking about. So I'm kind of just darkening these lines. And I'm going to pull in some of this flesh color to the center because I want his face in the middle to be lighter. You can use these markers with water or without water. So let me get my water brush out. See when I go over the line, the stamped line, how it just darkens? And then I'm just blending in some of that flesh color here. And taking my water brush and just kind of blending that all together. So I'm using watercolor paper, the Canson XL watercolor paper. I want to give this guy some rosy cheeks. He looks really cute with pink cheeks. So I'm going to use the light pink. And then I'm just going to blend that out with my watercolor brush to soften that a little bit. Oh my goodness, my dog is totally being a baby over there. He just had surgery. I think he needs some attention, so I'll be right back. Okay, so let's blend his little cheeks out a little bit more. Let me get some brown back in there. I think I got too much of the pink going on in his face there. I'm taking some of that beige color and bringing it down here. And I'm going to put some in his hair to give some other color definition in there. Just put some spikes in there. Let's work on his scarf. So we'll do a red scarf. So I'm using carmine red and light carmine. I'm just outlining with the darkest. And then just going to blend this out a little bit with the lighter color. I'm going to blend it a little bit with my water brush. I'm just working the colors until I like the way they look. Let's take my oatmeal over here because I'm getting a little bit of that red into his skin there. So let's just darken that up a little bit. And his face looks a little pale to me, so I'm gonna bring this back in. So now I'm going to let this dry a little bit, and then I'm going to go in with my black Jelly Roll pen and fill in his little nose. Let me darken up his little eyes. So I'm going to fill in his nose with a black jelly pen and give him some highlights with a white jelly pen. Now to finish off my image, I'm just going to take my white Jelly Roll pen and my black glaze jelly pen and fill in his little nose, give him some little highlights, and I think that's what really makes the image pop. Okay, so let's darken up his nose. And then I think I want to do his eyes. And then I'm going to give his cheeks some little freckles. And then give some little dots on his scarf. And then I like to do little highlights in his hair. And then as soon as the black jelly glaze pen dries, I'm going to put a little white on his nose for a little shine. And there's the cute little hedgehog. Or let me bring him closer up. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Bye everyone.